He's a man, such a man,
Such a man.
he's a real man.
What's up, guys? Skull Dizzy. This is a video response to Spinnernet1. He had a great video idea. He wanted you to name your top 3 favorite years in wrestling. And here are mine. I thought about it and I came up with 3 that I think are perfect. 2 of my years are identical to Spinnernet, but that's just how it goes. First, 1996. Here's why 1996 is my favorite year. I was a big time Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, even back in his Stunning Steve days, back in the early 90s of WCW, Hollywood Blondes of Flying Brian. He comes to the WWF as the ringmaster with Ted DiBiase. He then enters the King of the Ring tournament in 1996 and wins by defeating Jake the Snake Roberts. He wins the tournament, then goes on to have one of the best promos ever, talking about Jake the Snake Roberts being a Christian and all that, saying, talking about your songs, talking about your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." Right then and there, after that, that was the birth of Stone Cold, right then and there. The next night on Raw, there was Austin 3:16 signs everywhere. It was fantastic. Another great thing about 1996, WWF WrestleMania 12. Iron Man match, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Shawn Michaels. The full 60 minutes is used, no pins. They go into overtime. Shawn Michaels goes to win his first ever WWF Championship. But you also get to see Undertaker versus Kevin Nash or Diesel in a pretty good match. We also get to see the return of the Ultimate Warrior. I was a big time Ultimate Warrior fan. He went on a hiatus. He came back in 1996, defeating Triple H or Hunter Hearst Helmsley at that time in like less than 30 seconds. And to me, at that time, I was marking out. It was big time excitement for me. WCW in 1996 was phenomenal. A lot of people didn't like it, but as soon as Bash at the Beach came, as soon as Hulk Hogan turned his back on everybody and was the third man in the NWO, things got really cooking in WCW. The emergence of the NWO was revolutionary. Hulk Hogan as a heel for the first time totally blew everybody's mind, and 1996 to me was great. Now we have 1998. Like I said, I was a big Stone Cold fan, and in 1998 Stone Cold really got his wheel spinning with the Stone Cold character. He was having his feud with Vince McMahon. Raw was fantastic every freaking week. There was no worry whatsoever about whether or not Monday Night Raw was going to be good. You knew damn well it was going to be good. And Stone Cold played a big role in that. People like The Undertaker, Mankind, and The Rock, Kane, they all played a major role in that. And the biggest thing about it was, I think, was the Stone Cold versus McMahon feud. You had McMahon the boss, and you had Stone Cold defying authority, taking things into his own hands, not listening to what his boss says, getting to kick his boss's ass. I think that's why a lot of people like Stone Cold, because he did everything that us as workers wanted to do to our own boss. So 1998 was fantastic as far as WWF is concerned. WCW, just as good, in my opinion. You had the NWO going in their second year, and yeah, at that time NWO was kind of getting stale. But, you know, the whole reason with that is because they just had way too many members. Anyways, WCW's undercard, fantastic. You had the Cruiserweights. You had Rey Mysterio Jr. going up against Psychosis. You had people like La Parka, people like Juventud. You had a lot of Lucha Libres really putting their bodies on the line every night. Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, all those great cruiserweights really holding it down on the undercard. The thing with WCW Nitro and WWF Raw is that Raw always had a spectacular main event, always. However, their undercard wasn't really all that great. But with Nitro, it was totally reversed. Their undercard was spectacular, but their main event usually always fell through. So 1998, you had the rise of Stone Cold. You had WCW's mid-card really holding it down, the cruiserweights. Now, my final year, 1992. WCW. I was a big-time WCW fan in the early days of my wrestling, of me watching wrestling. And Sting was a franchise of WCW for many years. He won his WCW World title by defeating Lex Luger, I believe, at Super Brawl that year. He went on to have a feud with Big Van Vader. Great feud. I loved it. Vader and Sting. I was 12 years old at this time, so to me it was just amazing. But Sting feuded with Vader a lot that year. He also had a great feud with the Dangerous Alliance. Paulie Dangerously had the Dangerous Alliance. Rick Rude, Beautiful Bobby Eaton, Larry Zbyszko, I believe. Arn Anderson was even part of that at one time. Like Spinnernet said, 1991 was his favorite year. Everybody wanted to beat Sting up. All the heels did. And that's the same in 1992. Everybody wanted a piece of Sting. Of course, Sting was the man. He had it all. He had the promos, he had the look, he had the wrestling ability, and he was the world champion for a good part of that year. So WCW had that going. Sting and Vader, fantastic. And my favorite thing about the WWF, you had WrestleMania in 1992, WrestleMania 7, I believe. You had the Macho Man, the Ric Flair. Now this whole feud to me was fantastic, dude. You had Miss Elizabeth and the Macho Man. Of course, they were a married couple, and they even got married at SummerSlam 91, I believe. Match made in heaven. Well, Ric Flair comes to the WWF in 1991. In 1992, Ric Flair wins the WWF title at the Royal Rumble by winning it, and he goes to feud with the Macho Man. He goes to try to get under his skin by being with his main squeeze, Elizabeth. I've got the WWF magazine. If you guys saw the video I made, I showed you the pictures. He inserts himself into these photos with Elizabeth, and that, I mean, in those times, that was a really revolutionary storyline. Having Ric Flair superimpose himself in these photos with Elizabeth, that was a great storyline. Yeah, that's what I really loved about 1992. WWF, 1992, they were really big with the gimmicks. They had all sorts of people like Bastion Booger, Ludwig Borga, the 1-2-3 Kid, I believe was, believe he was there. And I might be wrong, but anyways, the Macho Man and Ric Flair really stole the show for me in 1992. I loved it. Also, Sting and Vader, fantastic. Sting was taking on everybody. But those are my years, 1992, 1996, and 1998. Appreciate you, Spinnernet, for making this video. It was a great idea. I'm glad I was able to make a video response. To all my subscribers and viewers, let me know in the comments below what your favorite years were as well. Make a video response if you want. Post it to Spinnernet's video. Post it to my video, whatever you want to do. But that's it. Peace out.
It's time! It's time!